Hello everyone. In this video I want to show you how to create a Weblogic managed server containing the P6 EPPM web access application. But this can apply to any Weblogic domain and managed server. I'm using here a Weblogic 12c 12.1 on which I already have installed P6 EPPM 15.2.1. And what I want to do at this point is just create another managed server. So for this, I'm already inside my WebLogic domain and going under environment and servers, gonna hit log and edit, or depending on what type of domain, maybe if it's a test domain, you don't need to log the configuration. And I'm just going to create a new domain that I'm gonna base on the old domain that I already created. So for this, I'm just going to do a couple of things before actually creating the managed server. I'm going to copy the configuration that I have for my old managed server. So for this, these are the arguments that we're gonna copy and modify. And I'm going to copy, just so I don't have to write it again, the Java home. And now that we have these, all that you have to do is go back to P6 to your environment and servers, and under servers I'm gonna create a new managed server. I'm gonna name it P6-2. I want it to listen on port 8303, or I don't know, maybe not. Let's say 8080. Okay, with a standalone server, I'm not interested in adding it in a cluster. I'm going to show you a different video on how to create a clustered environment. Okay, and now we have the managed server created. Now, what I want to do, first of all, is associate this managed server with the machine. This is the local host machine, which is defined here. And this machine will allow me to communicate with the domain's node manager and actually start this managed server through the console. Otherwise, you would need to actually go into your domain and start it using the start managed server component from the WebLogic domain, but I want to be able to also start it from the system. And next, I'm going to define the server start parameters. Actually, let me save this before going away. If we go now to server start, we're gonna set the Java home. So this will be the Java, the location from where to call Java application. And the arguments. So basically what a managed server is a Java process that will be running. You can choose where to run either on this machine or another. It's up to you. You can define a clustered domain with multiple machines underneath. This is up to you and however you prefer to have these. Now I'm going to adjust the memory parameters. For this, I think 10 gigabytes is a little too high. Let's set it to 4 gigabytes. And the location of the P6 home. If I were to do a cluster, or if I want to use a different P6 home than the one set up here, I could go in to my P6 home and actually copy the P6 folder and define um, a new home. For example, let's rename this to P6-2. And in here we can go even beyond and configure the db config, the BRE. But as I said at the moment, I'm not interested in actually creating a clustered environment. I'm just interested in creating a second managed server. In case one of them falls, I could start up the second one. A clustered environment is a much more complicated environment, but it's very useful for high availability scenarios. One thing to note here is that all these need to be in one single line, so it's good to copy them in a notepad or a text editor just to ensure that they are in a single line, or you can adjust the window size here and actually see if they get resized or not and displayed as you wish. Okay, now that we have our settings changed, what I'm going to do is save and activate my changes. Now I'm gonna go back to servers, and under control I want to stop my old managed server, my P6 server from here, and I'm gonna shut down it. And before I start it, I also want to change my deployment target, and I also want to target my second applications. Oh, I already have an application deployed in here, but at this point in the deployments, the application is only P6 is only linked to my old configuration. So I want to change this from the old managed server. I also want to add it to the new managed server. So I'm gonna click P6, wait for it to load, and once it's loaded, I'm gonna go to the targets and actually lock and edit, and I want to change target to also include P6 too. So this way the deployment is accessible on both of them. And now I'm gonna activate the changes, and I'm going to go back. Once they are activated, I'm gonna go back to servers and actually start my managed server and access P6 on that server. So let's give it a second to finish up. Okay, it's ready, and now we can go back to the servers and control tab, and I'm just going to start up my managed server. I already have WebLogic Node Manager for this domain running, so now it should be as simple as clicking start. This should communicate with the node manager and start up my managed server. Now it will take a few minutes to actually start the process, but once it's started, so it's currently starting, and once it's started we should be able to access P6 on port 8080. Note that this little button refreshes the screen every 10 seconds or so, without you manually needing to go in and refresh it. If I were to refresh the page, I'm gonna end the JavaScript that's running under this function. So, okay, perfect. And now we have our P6 started. So I'm just gonna go to localhost 8080/P6. and this should load up P6 home if everything worked as expected. And indeed, it redirected me to the login page, and if I type in my admin username and password, I should be able to log in. Well, that's all that you need to do to actually set up a WebLogic managed server.